So we did a new release of thenedge, so just a bug fix release yesterday. So I just wanted to quickly run through the changelog for it. So there was more just a cleanup of some of the things. So you could kind of argue that maybe it was there was a few kind of really minor features, but nothing really that warranted a minor bump in the version. So we had a few kind of bug fixes regarding like CSR, so certificate signing request creation, that make sure that it uses the new cloud profile common name in there. But then one of the more, you could kind of argue it's a feature, was we now support symlinks for all configuration files. So we're talking about like the tedge.toml, for instance. So that was kind of where it kind of came up, is that you can now use a symlink for the tedge.toml file, and thenedge will respect it as, in any kind of Linux system, it will read the target destination of the file correctly. So previously what was happening, because thenedge uses atomic writes when changing file contents, to prevent writing half a file if the device is switched off or crashes or whatever in the middle of writing a file. So we actually do basically create a new file and then move it to the location. So previously we were just obliterating the symlink. So we weren't respecting going, oh, that's a symlink, where is it pointing to? We were just then replacing the symlink with a real file. So we now support that. And then we had a few cleanups in terms of trying to normalize some of our description of some of the components. But one of the new kind of features, which is quite minor and we're not using it anywhere, but it might be useful for in development or playing around with thenedge, is that we can now call all of the thenedge binaries via the thenedge binary, if that makes sense. So for instance, like the tedge agent, that is actually just a symlink to the tedge binary. So we can now support calling it by just using the tedge CLI. So I'll just quickly show you what I actually mean by this. So we have a new subcommand called tedge run. And under that subcommand, you'll now see these are all of the binaries, like, so we can start the tedge agent, the mapper, the write command, and whatever, all via the tedge command. So previously, we would actually, if you look at the tedge agent, for instance, and if I just do a ls-l on that, you'll see that this is just a symlink. So we use a multi-call binary. So that's just a fancy way to saying we use a symlink to direct to the same tedge binary, but because of the symlink, when that's executed, it will go, oh, I was called with a symlink called tedge agent, so I will execute the tedge agent part of the code. So we just have a more convenient way to run that. So where that's useful is if you're just building it locally or something like that, and you want to just run a single tedge agent command or something, and you haven't created the symlinks, then it's just a convenient way to run it. It will run exactly the same code. It's just a different kind of entry point to run it. So in normal operation, you probably won't use it, but especially if you're kind of, dipping your toe in the thenedge development, then it might be useful, because I know all of the devs in the team already use it, because before everyone had to create their own symlinks, which was a little bit of a pain.